Hello and welcome to the World Battery Metals and Mining News for the 23rd of July 2024. First Quantum launches standstill deal with Chinese shareholder. First Quantum Minerals Limited announced a shareholder rights agreement with Jiangxi Copper Co. Ltd., aimed at limiting the Chinese firm's ownership and influence over the Canadian copper producer. The agreement restricts Jiangxi from purchasing more shares or selling a block of 5% or larger without First Quantum's consent, and allows Jiangxi to nominate one board member for consideration. This move coincides with Canada's new measures to curb Chinese investments in its critical minerals sector, emphasizing national security concerns and the need to secure supply chains for essential minerals used in technologies like electric vehicle batteries. Jiangxi, holding an 18.5% stake in First Quantum, had recently increased its investment by $212 million. First Quantum, which faced operational challenges in Panama, also announced a hedging program to mitigate risks in the copper market. By Jacob Loring. Freeport-McMoRan plans $7.5 billion investment to expand Chile copper mine. U.S. miner Freeport-McMoRan plans a $7.5 billion investment to expand its El Abra copper mine in Chile, a project anticipated to take 7 to 8 years due to permitting needs, according to CEO Kathleen Quirk. The company aims to submit an environmental impact statement by the end of next year, indicating this project is pivotal for long-term copper demand. With Freeport owning 51% of El Abra and the rest held by Codelco, the mine produced 98,400 metric tons of copper last year. Both Freeport and Chile are fostering better relations to attract more investment, and Freeport hopes the Chilean government will streamline the permitting process. The expansion will include new infrastructure and aims to produce significant quantities of copper and molybdenum annually. Imperial Metals extends mineralization at Mount Poly Mine. Imperial Metals has released the final drill results from its 2024 exploration program at the Mount Poly Mine in British Columbia. Significant findings include an 895-meter interval grading 0.26% copper and 0.32 grams per gold, with a key 342.5-meter section showing higher grades of 0.42% copper and 0.48 grams per ton gold, starting from 27.5 meters depth. The results also reveal extensive copper-gold mineralization extending 885 meters beneath the Springer pit floor. Notably, hole SD24 of 183 uncovered high molybdenum grades at this site. These discoveries are expected to aid in remodeling the Springer zone, optimizing pit designs, improving mine scheduling, and possibly leading to pit expansions and further drilling. Chile's mining ministry accepts Codelco head's resignation. Chile's mining ministry announced the resignation of Joaquin Morales, head of the country's copper commission, Codelco, who had been in office since March 2022. Morales will be temporarily replaced by the commission's current prosecutor, Claudia Rodriguez. Scientists discovered dark oxygen being produced by seabed metals. An international team of scientists, led by Professor Andrew Sweetman of the Scottish Association for Marine Science, has discovered that potato-shaped metallic nodules on the Pacific Ocean's seafloor produce oxygen in complete darkness, challenging the long-held belief that only photosynthetic organisms can generate oxygen. This groundbreaking discovery, published in Nature Geoscience, suggests that deep-sea oxygen production might play a role in the origins of aerobic life. The findings, observed in the Clarion-Clipperton Zone, a potential mining area, highlight concerns around the environmental impact of deep-sea mining, particularly as companies like the Metals Company aim to exploit these metal-rich nodules for critical green technologies. The revelation has further intensified scrutiny on deep-sea mining practices, coinciding with a formal SEC complaint from civil society groups against TMC for allegedly misleading investors and stakeholders, leading to a notable drop in the company's shares. Lifezone produces first metal from Kabanga Nickel Project in Tanzania. Lifezone Metals has produced nickel, copper, and cobalt cathode materials from borehole core samples at its Kabanga project in Tanzania for the first time since the deposit's discovery in 1975. This was achieved through pilot-scale test work using the company's proprietary hydromet processing technology, noted for its lower carbon footprint compared to traditional methods. The pilot plant's success, showing 98.5% nickel recovery, underscores Lifezone's focus on sustainable and innovative metal production. Despite this milestone, shares of Lifezone Metals fell 7% in New York trading. The Kabanga project is one of the largest undeveloped nickel sulfide resources in the world, with significant backing from BHP. The project's development will include a hydromet refinery and will be completed in 2 phases, with a feasibility study expected this quarter. Civil society groups file complaint against the metals company. The metals company, Nasdaq TMC, faces accusations from 3 civil society groups, Deep Sea Mining Campaign, the Ocean Foundation, and Blue Climate Initiative, of misleading investors, government officials, and the public about its deep sea mining project in the Clarion-Clipperton Zone of the Pacific Ocean. The groups have filed a formal complaint with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, alleging that TMC provided overly optimistic and deceptive information about its financial forecasts, demand for mined battery metals, environmental efforts, and its use of renewable energy. Furthermore, TMC is accused of downplaying opposition, misrepresenting ties to the United States, ignoring impacts on indigenous communities, and presenting dubious financial data. This new complaint builds on a previously closed SEC investigation into the company's practices. Freeport-McMoRan beats second quarter profit estimates. Miner Freeport-McMoRan surpassed second quarter profit estimates, reporting an adjusted profit of 46 cents per share against analysts' average estimate of 38 cents, as per LSE data, driven by higher copper prices. Codelco obtains $532 million in climate financing. Chilean state miner Codelco has secured $532 million in climate financing from French bank Crédit Agricole CIB to support its ambitious decarbonization plan, which aims for a 100% decarbonized energy matrix by 2030. Initiated in 2018 with a decarbonized supply contract with ENGIE for its Chuquicamata site, the plan includes renewing electricity supply contracts with renewable energy sources. Codelco, which is responsible for about 9% of Chile's energy consumption, will use the funds to further its sustainability goals. Vale Metals appoints mining veteran Sean Usmar as CEO. Vale Base Metals, VBM, a Canadian miner formed in 2023 from Vale's critical metals spinout, has appointed Sean Usmar as its new CEO. Usmar, previously the CEO of Triple Flag Precious Metals and former CFO of Barrick Gold, brings over 30 years of industry experience. He succeeds Deshni Naidu, with the position being covered by Mark Cutifani in the interim. VBM recently announced substantial investments to enhance productivity at nickel and copper mines in Brazil and Canada, and the new Stobie mine in Sudbury, Ontario, is set to produce significant quantities of nickel and copper, with an initial target of 300,000 tons this year. Pilbara Minerals says lithium prices may have bottomed. Australia's Pilbara Minerals has announced robust customer demand for its lithium and indicated that prices may have bottomed out following the departure of high-cost suppliers. The company's June quarter revenue rose by 58% from the previous quarter, reaching a $305 million, $201.64 million, driven by higher sales volume and average realized prices. CEO Dale Henderson mentioned that closures of high-cost supply sources, including lepidolite production in China, Africa, and some Australian output, have bolstered market conditions. Despite near 3-year lows in spodumene prices, Henderson noted the strong growth potential in lithium demand, particularly from energy storage systems for solar arrays. The company anticipates higher production in the current financial year, projecting output between 800,000 to 840,000 metric tons of spodumene concentrate, owing to capacity expansions. In the June quarter, sales of spodumene concentrate surged 43% to 235,800 tons. Firebird Metals farms out early-stage manganese projects in Australia. Firebird Metals has entered into a farm-out agreement allowing Macro Metals to take over its Wandanya, Disraeli, and Midjingaj manganese projects in the eastern Pilbara region of Western Australia. Under the deal, Macro will invest $150,000 over the next year and conduct significant drilling to earn an 80% stake, while Firebird's remaining 20% interest will be free carried until a mining decision is made, leading to a joint venture. Firebird will have the option to convert its interest into a royalty and earn a commission on sales. This strategic partnership will enable Firebird to focus on advancing its flagship Oakover project, which has a significant manganese resource and plans for low-cost processing in China for use in battery materials. Vietnam arrests former Deputy Environment Minister over rare earth mining violations. Police in Vietnam have arrested former Environment Deputy Minister Nguyen Linh Ngoc, along with 4 other senior officials, accused of violating mining regulations amidst a broader investigation into a rare earth company in northern Vietnam. Ngoc and the others are charged with deliberate violations of state economic management regulations, causing significant damage, according to the Ministry of Public Security. This follows last year's arrests of senior officials from Thai Duong Group for allegedly forging value-added tax receipts in rare earth trading. The ministry is continuing to investigate and aims to recover lost state assets. Vietnam holds the world's second-largest deposits of rare earth minerals, essential for electric cars and wind turbines, and is intensifying efforts to curb illegal mining operations. Alamos records grades up to 56 gras per het at Island Gold Project in Ontario. Alamos Gold has reported impressive drilling results from its Island Gold mine in Ontario, revealing high-grade gold assays up to 56.13 grams over 2.1 meters. These results extend the high-grade mineralization beyond current reserves and resources in key zones and additional areas like North Shear and Webb Lake. This is expected to significantly boost the high-grade mineral reserves and resources, supporting the mine's life extension beyond 20 years and enhancing synergies with the expanded Magino milling complex. The company plans to increase its exploration budget to $19 million in 2024, up from $14 million in 2023, prioritizing extensive drilling to define new resources and convert existing ones to reserves. India slashes import tax on gold, silver to tackle smuggling. India has reduced import duties on gold and silver from 15% to 6%, aiming to boost retail demand and curb smuggling in the world's second-largest bullion market. This policy shift, announced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, is expected to lower domestic gold prices, enhancing local jewelry demand, and creating a more competitive market for honest stakeholders. Following the announcement, domestic gold prices dropped 6% to their lowest in over 3 months. The duty cut is poised to alleviate pressure on India's trade deficit and the rupee, despite a potential rise in global gold prices. Additionally, the government announced an import duty exemption for 25 critical minerals, including lithium, to bolster supply for electric vehicle battery production. Kumba Iron Ore sees new South Africa government open to rail reform. Anglo-American plc's South African iron ore unit, Kumba Iron Ore Limited, has highlighted the new government's commitment to addressing logistics bottlenecks that hinder exports. CEO Mampumi Zikalala acknowledged that resolving these infrastructure issues, particularly with state-owned Transnet SOC Limited, could take several years. Despite forming a coalition with the pro-business Democratic Alliance, President Cyril Ramaphosa's administration sees economic growth as a key priority. Kumba had slowed its production due to constraints on rail and port infrastructure, leading to a 26% drop in profits for the first half of the year. The company is advocating for policy reforms to allow greater private sector involvement to improve and manage the critical infrastructure. By William Clowes. Iron ore price buckles below $100 as China's plenum fails to inspire removers. Iron ore prices have fallen below $100 a ton as a recent policy meeting in China failed to introduce significant economic stimulus, which, combined with robust supply levels, has put pressure on the market. Iron ore futures dropped as much as 3.5% in Singapore, continuing a downward trend for a third consecutive day. Investors were disappointed with the limited measures from China's third plenum, which did not address the metal's demand or the ongoing property crisis. Data from Brazil indicated a faster pace of iron ore shipments, contributing to the surplus in the global seaborne market. The price decline, marking over a 25% drop this year, is exacerbated by weak steel demand. This has negatively impacted the share prices of major mining companies, including BHP Group Limited, which closed at its lowest level since November 2022. Nippon Steel to dissolve JV with China's Baoshan after 20 years. Nippon Steel has announced the termination of its joint venture with China's Baoshan Iron and Steel, ending a 2-decade partnership when their current agreement expires at the end of August. Nippon Steel will transfer its 50% stake in the venture to Baoshan for approximately 1.8 billion yuan, $247 million. The venture was involved in producing and selling steel sheets for automotive use in China. This move aligns with Nippon Steel's shift in focus to the US and India, reducing its production capacity in China by 70%, while maintaining a significant output through its partnership with Wuhan Iron and Steel. Despite speculation, the company clarified that this decision is unrelated to its bid for U.S. Steel and unrelated to former U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who has been retained to aid the U.S. Steel acquisition. Solis to fast-track target generation at Guaneros project. Solis Minerals has engaged a geophysical contractor to conduct a drone airborne magnetometry survey at the Guaneros project in Peru, aiming to accelerate target generation and support geophysical follow-up work and drilling permits. The survey will identify anomalies for further evaluation with ground-based induced polarization surveys. Scheduled to start early next month, results are expected within the same month. The drone will later move to the Sinto project for a survey on newly described copper mineralization, while ongoing geochemical sampling and mapping will refine target understanding and support drilling efforts. Executive Director Matthew Boyes highlighted the momentum in their copper exploration programs and expressed anticipation for the upcoming survey results to advance Guaneros project targets. Solis Minerals, a company with a focus on Latin American critical minerals, plans to have its 4 Peruvian project areas ready for sequential drilling. Schneider Electric, renewables, energy storage need to be top of Australia's agenda. Schneider Electric is calling on Australia to prioritize and diversify its power supply by integrating renewable energy sources and adopting digital technologies for enhanced resilience and sustainability. Highlighting lessons from the 2019-2020 bushfire-induced blackouts, the company emphasizes the importance of a digitally enabled renewable energy infrastructure. Australia is making strides with governmental targets and significant investments in renewable projects, such as Origin Energy's $400 million commitment to a 460-megawatt battery storage system. Schneider Electric believes effective energy storage solutions are crucial for Australia's renewable energy future.